Okay, in this example 3, we're going to use substitution again, and this time something different is going to happen, and you're going to realize that there are either no solutions or many solutions. Okay, we're going to take an example where you see that there are many solutions first, and then we might see one with no solutions later. So in this one, they start you off with this 4x plus 2y equals -8, and the other equation is y equals -2x minus 4. You can already see that this second equation is already solved for y, so we won't have to solve it on our own. We can just use this right away and substitute it back into the first equation, kind of like we did in the first example. So take a look here. I'm going to guide you through the steps one more time, but I'm going to show you what kind of happens at the end that is a little different in this problem. Okay, so we have the y value equals all of this stuff. We can take all of that stuff and replace the y value with it in the other equation. You always go back to the other equation. So I'm going to rewrite this guy now, but I'm going to use the substitution uh, and replace that y variable. So here we go. 4x plus 2y, but instead of y, we're going to type in or write in -2x minus 4. That's our new y value. It has been replaced, and all that equals -8. Okay, we got some distribution going on here that we can use to simplify this equation. So that's the next step. 2 times -2x and 2 times -4. So let's start rewriting that now. Okay, here we go. 4x minus 4x, because 2 times -2x gives me the -4x. And then 2 times -4 is -8, and that equals -8. Okay, let's start combining like terms now. 4x minus 4x, that's just going to cancel out there. So all the x's will go away, and all we're left with is -8 equals -8. And this is a true statement right here. When you get a true statement like this, notice all the x values disappeared. They went away. And so this is the only thing left, but we don't have like an x equals, which is what we were shooting for. So when you have a true statement like this, it means that there are many solutions to your x value. So when you're looking for an x, like x equals, you have many answers that can go in here for x. Okay, that's why these x's canceled out. X equals basically any number, any real number. What I'm trying to say is if you take any x value and plug it in this equation, the y values will be the same. Now we can show that by looking at a graph. Okay, let's go back to the Desmos calculator that you guys are starting to get familiar with now, and let's type in these two equations and see what happens. So let me delete these. The first equation is, back over here. 4x plus 2y equals -8. So 4x plus 2y equals -8. Let me zoom out. There it is. There's the first equation. And now let's graph the second equation. Y equals -2x minus 4. So y equals -2x minus 4. Look what happened. It graphed it right over the other line. So since these two equations represent the same line, any x value on here will work. Any x value will give us a solution. And so since these two represent the same line, they have infinite number of solutions or many solutions. So when you get something like this, if you're using the algebraic way to solve it by substitution, and you realize that you get, your x's go away and all you have is a number that equals the same number, you have to say that there are many different solutions. Okay? There's also another situation. I'm just going to bring this up since it's kind of part of this problem also. See, they graphed it here as well. But down here, down below, it mentions, what would a solution like -8 equals 0 mean? So if you get -8 equals 0, this is not a true statement. So like, if I go back to this, if this right here would have been -8 equals 0, that would be a false statement. And when you get a false statement, that means that there are no solutions. Okay, and in that case, you would have parallel lines on a graph. Okay, parallel lines never cross, they're never on top of each other like this, they're not the same line. They would never intersect, so we would not have a solution in this case. We'll talk more about this, but for now, the main point is for you to be able to take this equation, substitute it into there, and try to solve until you get an answer like this. Okay, you don't always get an x value. This means that there are many solutions. If you get a solution where, sorry, if you get an answer like this, where it's not a true statement, that would mean that there are, I'll just type it in here, no solutions. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video.